Welcome everyone back to the Ryan Harper Show. This is episode number 9. We have tons and tons of news to get into, so without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. So the first story today is coming from Fox News. Here's what they had to say. They said, former Kamala Harris spokesperson shares what it was like working with her. And it's not good, okay? So this is a quote coming from Simone Sanders, who is an MSNBC host, okay? And she's also the former chief spokesperson and senior advisor for Vice President Kamala Harris. Here's what she had to say. She said, there was one day at work where I was like, ma'am, you might be the last woman I work for because this is... And then we don't get the rest of the story, but I'm sure she probably said that it was bad. It's a lot that we had to go through, and it's a lot that we had to deal with over in here. So that's probably talking about her role as the former chief spokesperson, as well as senior advisor. There was probably a lot of stuff to deal with, is what she's trying to say. So she clearly did not like working for Kamala. Now, most people don't. Look, most people don't. And on top of that, most people didn't like working for Biden, okay? Joe Biden's advisors and all the people that came out who were working with him, they came out and said that he was an angry man. On top of that, they were all scared of working for him, and he wouldn't listen to advice. He wouldn't take any facts, okay? He would just believe what he wanted to believe. So both of them are terrible for working for, apparently. Now, there is a clip coming from Trump. Okay, so he was at a Turning Point USA event called the Believer Summit. Once again, Trump. And he said something kind of crazy. He said that if you vote for him this term, that you will never have to vote again. Now, I'm going to show you the full clip so you guys can hear it for yourself. But he's essentially saying that he's going to get rid of voting. At least that's what I took from it. Now, a lot of people are saying it's misquoted or it's, taken out of context. I disagree with that. I mean, you can see the full context right here. I don't know what else he could have possibly meant. Let me just play the clip for you guys.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Okay, so that was the clip. You can let me know what you think about that. Clearly, he's saying that if you vote for him in this election, you will never have to vote again. He's talking to Christians in specific. But of course, he's not saying that, Christians are the only ones who are going to get to vote. He's saying that nobody's going to get to vote. Or that you won't have to. Like, that's a good thing, okay? Now, I don't know what he's talking about here. Okay, maybe it was taken out of context. I have zero clue. I need Trump to come out in an interview, or publicly, or even post to Truth Social, just talking about what he said here, and clarifying, because this makes no sense. This sounds scary. This is like Project 2025 rhetoric right here. And I defended Trump, saying that, he might take some stuff from Project 2025, but he's not going to implement the extreme parts of 2025. But now, I mean, come on, dude, this is extreme. This is insane. I don't know what he's talking about here. And this is really dangerous. Because if he does get rid of voting or elections, that means he is in charge. Not him, but he and the Republican Party is in charge forever until the end of time. At least that's what I'm gathering from here. So, look, we need clarification, okay? Now, did he also say, by the way, I want to bring up one more thing. Did he also say that he was not a Christian? Y'all heard that, right? Let me play it here. He said, I'm not a Christian.
Christians, I'm a Christian.
You heard that?
You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian.
Okay, he could have either said, I'm a Christian, but it kind of sounded like I'm not a Christian, but I don't know, kind of weird. But anyway, the next story we have today is coming from Fox News, and this is coming from Harrison Butker, okay? Harrison Butker, here's what he said. He said, be not deceived. God is not mocked. Okay, so Harrison Butker sounds off on drag queens reenacting the Last Supper during the Olympic opening ceremony, calling it crazy. I agree with that, to be honest with you, because drag queens? Why would the drag queens? Okay, why are we doing this? Why are we getting drag queens to reenact the Last Supper, which is a religious thing? Okay, it's a religious event in history. And drag queens are not a part of that religion, let me tell you. Okay, they are not a part of that religion. They are not welcome into the religion, okay? Because, and look, I'm not really even a part of that religion, to be honest with you. I'm not fully a part of that religion, but when you take drag queens, or you take something that goes against the religion and mix it with the religion, it just doesn't make any sense, and it's kind of disrespectful to the people who are in that religion. No? I mean, let me know what you think, though. Now, CBS News reported that there is a fire in Northern California called the Park Fire, which is true. And it's ravaging this entire city, okay? It's destroying homes, all that stuff. It's terrible, okay? It's a fast-spreading park fire, okay? Now, here's what it says. It surpassed 350,000 acres, and is now 10% contained. That's actually false. This was 19 hours ago, so it was correct at the time. Now, it is 12% contained, okay? So, Northern California's park fire has surpassed 350,000 acres burned, and CAL FIRE reported that containment is increased to 10%, now at 12% obviously, on Saturday evening. Now, the park fire is the largest wildfire in the state so far this year, and the 7th largest wildfire in California history. The fire has scorched an area about the size of Los Angeles, and has burned more acres than CAL FIRE reported all of last year in the state. Dude, this fire is the size of Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the city. That's insane, bro. So, guys, if you haven't evacuated yet, obviously evacuate. It's insane. Don't stay, okay? Don't be one of those people that stays to protect their home. Look, you gotta get out. You gotta put your health first. You gotta put your life first, okay? Your house is not as important as your life. Let me just say that. Now, American Values 2024, which is the super PAC of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., came out with this post talking about how Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just got Secret Service protection. Now, as you know, after the Trump attempted assassination occurred, Joe Biden finally gave RFK Jr. Secret Service protection. It's not like he's been asking for an entire year, you know. It says, it only took 6 tries. Only 6 tries. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has finally gotten Secret Service protection. This conference has been under intense security measures during his visit to Nashville, United States, okay? So, check this out. Here's a picture of the Secret Service protection right here. You can see these guys in uniforms, obviously. And here on the next slide, we see American Values. Here's what they said. They said, for over 100 days, we posted daily reminders that the Biden administration was refusing RFK Jr.'s request for Secret Service. His request was rejected not once, not twice, but 5 times. RFK Jr. finally has Secret Service protection, cementing his place as a major candidate in the 2024 election. Now, he should have gotten that a year ago, okay? Joe Biden waited till the very last moment until he was forced to give it, okay, because of the shooting, because of the Trump shooting. And if he didn't give it after that, he would look bad, okay? So that's the reason why he gave it. And of course, beforehand, when he wasn't giving it, it was to deplete the money of RFK Jr. because since he wouldn't have Secret Service protection, he would have to spend his own money on security, which he was spending about $1 million, I believe, a week or a month or something like that, he said, which is a lot of money that could go to his campaign instead of security. But of course, Biden forced him to have to pay for his own security. So it's a great thing that he now has Secret Service protection, because now he can use all that money that he was spending on security to actually fund his campaign goals, okay? So very, very good, and the Biden administration should be ashamed, absolutely ashamed of themselves for not giving Secret Service protection the first 6 times that he asked for it, okay? And he's at elevated risk. 2 of his family members were assassinated in public office. It's insane, dude. It's absolutely insane. Now, check this out. Fox News reported that President Biden is reportedly preparing to propose term limits for Supreme Court justices and to voice support for a constitutional amendment that would limit immunity for presidents. And Fox News also reported that Hezbollah, which is an Iran-backed terrorist organization, Iran-backed Hezbollah hits Israel with deadliest attack in months, IDF says, raising fears of escalation, okay? So they sent a rocket over to Israel, and it killed several people and left 29 more injured in a Druze village in northern Israel. Terrible situation. And of course, these wars need to stop, man. These wars need to stop. It's just a fact. Like, the Israel-Hamas war needs to stop. Hezbollah needs to stop. All this stuff needs to stop, okay? We need to stop all the destruction, all the killing. We need to come back to peace in the world. Even though that seems like it's impossible at this point, I still think we can do it at some point. But it's definitely something that we need to work towards, let me just say. So, Fox News also reported that Trump campaign's economic advisor, okay, so the economic advisor under the Trump campaign, weighs in on the economy under President Biden's leadership and says it's hard to point to a single policy that he's got right. basically saying that Joe Biden has not gotten a single policy right, or at least it's hard to point to one, and that his economy was not good. And that's kind of true. That's 100% true, because even though the numbers show that the economy is good, the people are not feeling it, okay? The people cannot afford anything. They can't get into a home. They can't buy a car, okay? They can't even buy food anymore because it's so expensive. That's Bidenomics. That's Biden's inflation. That is Joe Biden's economy, and that's what the legacy of his economy will be. And it will forever be seen as that, even though the numbers say it's good, okay? The numbers don't matter. The only way the numbers would actually matter is if the people actually felt that, okay? But they don't. That's a simple fact. And under the Trump economy, we actually had a good economy. And I hear this all the time. People are like, it was a terrible economy. Trump had the worst economy in the world. What are you talking about? Yes and no, okay? Yes, it was a terrible economy. But yes, it was also a good economy. Let me explain really quickly. So Trump ran up $8 trillion in debt. That's more than, most presidents ever in history. Obviously, Barack Obama ran up $9 trillion, which is more than Trump. But of course, he had 2 terms to do that, whereas Trump only had 1 term. So he ran up more debt per year than any president in history. Okay? So when you borrow $8 trillion in debt, you can actually have a good economy because you're borrowing money. It's like owning a credit card. You have free money on the credit card, but of course you have to pay that back, okay? So yes, Trump had a good short-term economy where everything was affordable, everyone felt like the economy was good, everyone, was doing well. But he ran up $8 trillion in debt to get that short-term economy. So short-term, it's good, but long-term, we have to pay that money back. We have to pay back the $8 trillion in debt, okay? So that's mostly going to be paid back by our kids' generation. So we're forcing our kids to pay for our current day prosperity. And also, we have to pay for that too, by the way. Not just our kids. We as well. And it gets paid through taxes and all that sort of stuff, okay? So in the next 5 years, 50 cents out of every dollar collected in taxes will go to servicing the debt. And in 10 years, 100% out of every dollar collected in taxes is going to go to servicing the debt. So this is a really, really extreme situation that Donald Trump and Joe Biden has put us into, because both of these people have ran up tons and tons of trillions of dollars in debt, forcing us to pay back, okay? So Biden and Trump both failed on their economy. Now, I would say Trump did a little bit better because he had a good short-term economy and a terrible long-term economy, but Biden had a terrible short-term economy and a terrible long-term economy. So Joe Biden did a little bit worse, for sure. Now, check this out. House Speaker Mike Johnson, okay? Here's what he had to say. He said, Harris wants illegals to vote. It says, House Speaker Mike Johnson slammed Vice President Kamala Harris for wanting the future of American elections to be determined by illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, okay? Now, this is something that we've all been worried about, because we've seen how the Biden administration with Kamala Harris has brought in all of these illegal immigrants, okay, with the plan to have them vote in these elections so that they would vote for Democrats and that they would get an automatic win. Kind of cheating the system, okay? We've seen that and we've talked about it, and it's kind of true. It's not necessarily true at first, because once you get the immigrants in, they're obviously not U.S. citizens, so they can't vote, but now they're trying to get rid of that. They're trying to get rid of those things. They're trying to get rid of documents. So you, in order to vote, you would have to show a document that you actually live in the United States, that you're a citizen. Now they're trying to get rid of that. So now you wouldn't actually have to show any proof that you're a citizen in order to vote. Some people see that as a good thing. I don't. Okay, look, I think you need to be a U.S. citizen in order to vote. I think you need to be here legally in order to vote. I don't think you can just come in and vote. That's rigging it, okay? That's rigging the system. That's rigging the election so that the Democrats can win. It's crazy, and it's clear election fraud. Talk about Trump being election fraud and, the Republicans doing election fraud. Screw that. The Biden administration and the Democrats are doing election fraud right before our eyes, okay? And it's just a fact. And they're the ones who are trying to get rid of the forms to vote. So you wouldn't need any proof at all that you're from this country. It's crazy. Now check this out. Team USA's Jack Alexie, Chris Goliano, I probably butchered that, bro. I'm terrible with names, and Hunter Armstrong and Caleb Dressel brought home America's first gold of the 2024 Olympics in the men's 4x100 meter freestyle relay. Okay, so this is like a swimming team. Men's swim team snags Team USA's first gold medal in thrilling race. Very, very cool. Once again, I've never watched the Olympics before, so I am very uninformed, okay? I just thought I'd add this story in this episode because it's kind of cool, okay? I have never watched a single Olympics before. I will be open and honest about it, man. Now, Fox News reported that fitness guru Jillian Michaels sounded off after drag queens posed as Jesus Christ and the Apostles in a controversial opening to the Paris Olympics. Once again, we just talked about this, but this is guru Jillian Michaels, who said this quote. They said, "Dear fellow gays," okay, so I'm guessing they are gay themselves. "Dear fellow gays, we demand tolerance and respect, but then make a mockery of something sacred for over 2 billion Christians. This is not how we break down barriers, it's how you build them." That is true. I 100% agree with Julian Michaels here. And the reason I agree with him is because, like I said, Christians find offense to this, okay? This goes against their religion. So you, bringing drag queens in, reenacting a Christian historic event, it's just making a mockery to Christians. It's crazy what this country is doing. It's crazy how they're mocking Christians for just having a religion. We're supposed to have freedom of religion here, and we're supposed to respect each other's religions. We're not supposed to make a mockery, so I 100% agree here. Now, Fox News reported that former President Trump blasted Vice President Kamala Harris, alleging her meeting with Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu was, quote, terrible. Trump had a meeting as well a few days ago, and he spoke with Netanyahu. He had a meeting, he talked, and apparently it went well, according to him. But now he's saying that Harris had a meeting as well, and that hers did not go well. Okay, so here's what he said. This is what former President Trump said. He said, Netanyahu had a terrible and insulting meeting with in D.C. with Kamala Harris, who also refused to preside over Congress during his speech, which is an obligation of the vice president. Rarely has such a thing happened. Okay? Now you can let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Newsmax reported that Donald Trump addressed supporters in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and denounced the coup of and by the Democrats, okay? Now, that's talking about how obviously the Democrats are scamming the American public into winning. Now, check this out. Here's the first slide. We can see Trump here in Minnesota. We can see the banner behind him, the crowd. Here's the next slide. You can see more of the crowd. Obviously, a big crowd as normal. And then here you can see Trump again, and then behind him, more of the crowd holding Vance Trump signs. Here's J.D. Vance, and of course his wife. And then some more supporters. I'm guessing they're praying here, or doing like, what's it called? The, man, I can't think of it right now. But they're probably like praying or doing the song. The American song. The national anthem. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I couldn't think of the name for a second, but the national anthem. It's probably what they're doing here in this picture. Now, the next story is coming from Fox News that says a new poll found that former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are neck and neck now that President Biden is off of the 2024 ticket. So apparently, from this new poll, Kamala and Trump are tied in terms of the race. As you know, a few days ago, we talked about how Trump was actually ahead in the race against Kamala. Now they're apparently tied. Once again, though, this is only one poll. The other polls say that Trump is ahead. This poll says that they're tied. So polls are, you know, you have to take different polls into consideration. You just cannot look at one poll and say, this is it. Okay, there's many polls. Only about 1,000 to 2,000 people are participating per poll, except for Zogby. Zogby usually has like 26,000 people, so that one's the most accurate. But, you know, if we look at like all these polls from CBS and New York Times, all that stuff, there's only like 1,000 to 2,000 people participating in those polls. So we have to keep that into consideration. Now, ABC News reported that the local SWAT team assigned to help protect former President Trump on July 13th at his rally had not had any contact with the Secret Service agents in charge of security before a would-be assassin opened fire. Those officers told ABC News in their first public comments since the shooting. Okay, so they're coming out, and they're saying that they actually had no contact with the Secret Service. That makes them look even more sketchy, bro. Oh my dude. Every single day, there's new news coming out about how the Secret Service was literally in on the shooting. It was a critical part of planning and communications failures that ended with a gunman killing one man, critically injuring two people, and wounding Trump as he delivered a speech. Okay, we're also not going to talk about how the shooter had to die as well? Okay. Sure, we can talk about the gunman who was killed, the two people who were injured, Trump was injured. We also need to talk about how the gunman lost his life, because that's serious, okay? Why did he do this act? He was coerced into doing this act by watching news, by watching the mainstream media speak to him and tell him lies every single day and build up rage in him so that he could actually do this. Okay, we need to talk about that. It's a serious issue. Now it says that, this is in quotes, coming from lead sharpshooter on the SWAT team, okay, Jason Woods. He said, "We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service members whenever they arrived, and it never happened," said Jason Woods, lead sharpshooter on the SWAT team. Okay, so you can let me know what you think about that story. It's insane, and there's new news coming out every day unfolding before our eyes. Fox News reported that some in France took to the internet to express disapproval with the controversial Olympics opening ceremonies. Once again, this is talking about the mockery of the drag queens doing the reenactment of the Last Supper, okay? It's coming from the French Bishops' Conference. They said, "This ceremony unfortunately included scenes of mockery and derision of Christianity, which we deeply regret," okay? "We are thinking of all the Christians on every continent who have been hurt by the outrageousness and provocation of certain scenes." Okay, so they're coming out and they're slamming them for doing this, just like I just did and just like the other people just did in this video. Okay, so clearly people are upset at this ceremony, as you should be, because it's disrespectful to Christians, even if you aren't in that religion, even if you don't care about the religion. You have to respect the religion, and making a mockery of it is not a good thing, okay? Newsmax reported that Michigan's Arab Americans will seek change with Trump. Now, you can let me know if you agree with that. But it says the key battleground state of Michigan might be turning back to Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, who is reportedly finding new respect from its growing Arab American community. So it looks like the Arab American community is growing in terms of support for Trump rather than Kamala Harris. Fox News reported that Harris's question, so Kamala, on whether J.D. Vance is loyal to the U.S. or only to Trump, he immediately fires back, okay? So J.D. Vance fired back. Here's what he said. He said, "My question to Kamala Harris is this. What the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America?" Alright, so he's firing back at Kamala right now. Check this out. Elon Musk speaks out after Paris Olympics opening ceremony. We're back with the ceremony stuff. Elon Musk spoke on it, okay? So now we have Elon Musk. We have everyone else talking about it. We have me talking about it, okay? It's a big issue. Says Elon Musk speaks out after Paris Olympics opening ceremony sparks controversy for using drag queens to mock the Last Supper. Elon Musk said, "Unless there is more bravery to stand up for what is fair and right, Christianity will perish." Okay? That's what he said. You can let me know if you agree with that. Now, ABC News broke some new news. Here's what ABC News said. They said, Harris sees a boost in favorability after Biden drops out of the race. This is coming from a poll. Says Vice President Kamala Harris is enjoying a bounce in her favorability rating among Americans just days after President Joe Biden bowed out of the presidential race and endorsed her, according to an ABC News / Ipsos poll. Okay, the Vice President favorability rating has jumped to 43% with an unfavorability rating of 42%, according to the ABC News Ipsos poll, conducted using Ipsos Knowledge Panel. Okay, and an ABC News Ipsos poll released a week ago, Harris' favorability rating was 35%, while 46% viewed her unfavorably. Okay, so her favorability rating for Kamala Harris jumped from 35% to 43%. So she does have a little bit of a better favorability rating now that Joe Biden is out of the race, obviously, because she's better than Joe Biden. I'll admit it, okay? She can talk, she can walk, okay? She can speak, she can think. She can do all those things, which Joe Biden couldn't do. So, of course, her favorability rating is going to go up a little bit, because she is the favorability, she's the most favorable between her and Joe Biden. Okay, so those are the only two options. So, of course, her favorability rating is going to go up. And I think it should, because once again, she's a little bit better than Joe Biden. Now, Fox News reported that the Paris 2024 official defends controversial Olympics opening ceremony, mocking Christianity after widespread backlash over drag queens, the Last Supper depiction. So, a Paris 2024 spokesperson, Anne Descamps, okay, she's defending this. She says, this is fine. What do you mean, guys? This is not disrespectful. Having drag queens reenact the Last Supper. It's not disrespectful, guys. What are you talking about? She said the opening ceremony tried to celebrate the community tolerance. We believe this ambition was achieved. Nice. That's great. You achieved community tolerance, but also you made a mockery of every single Christian in the country and in the world. So, great job. Okay? Now, Fox News said that Piers Morgan predicts reality will click in for Kamala Harris's claims. The vice president will make America history. Wait, hold on. This little phrase right here made no sense. Let me reread that. Piers Morgan predicts, quote, reality will click in for Kamala Harris, and he claims that the vice president will make American history with one outlook. Okay, so he thinks she's going to make history, and that, reality will click in. This is a quote from Piers Morgan. He said, her record is she's truly probably the most far-left senator in American history. That is true. We've talked about this many times on the last episode and the episode before. People believe that she is, Kamala Harris, the most radical left or the most far-left senator in American history, as well as the most far-left vice president in American history. And if she becomes president, she will be the most far-left president in American history, the most progressive. I agree with that. The Republicans agree with that. Her own party, the Democrats, agree with that. The independents agree with that. And the people working with her agree with that. So it's true. Piers Morgan is 100% correct here. Now, we have two more stories to go over, guys. Now, Fox News reported that former President Trump said the Secret Service would substantially step up their operation. Something, he argued, the organization was very capable of doing. Trump vows to continue to hold outdoor rallies in the wake of his assassination attempt. Like I said, he's a true leader, even if you don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. I am not a Trump fan. But he is a true leader because he never gives up. He just continues to go even after he gets shot at. It's insane. The man is insane with what he's able to do. Most people would have quit. Most people would have quit after they got shot at. Most people would have quit after the news came after them. After the people came after them. But he didn't. He continued to go, and I respect that. Now, ABC News, this is the last story of today. They reported that Vice President Kamala Harris's fundraising has topped $200 million. That is insane, bro. So they got $81 million. I'm hearing reports of $100 million in the first 24 hours. And now they're saying she has raised over $200 million. That is insane. It says Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign raised more than $200 million in less than a week, with more than 2/3 of the total coming from first-time donors, the campaign said on Sunday, adding that the total raised amount to a record-shattering haul. So she's gotten the most donations in American history for a campaign. What do you think about that? Because I think that's insane. Okay, that's insane. Look, she doesn't even have that much support coming in. Because right now, most people are going to vote for Trump or RFK Jr. And she doesn't really have that big of support. Now, she does have support coming from the Democratic side. There's probably 30%. So 20% of the Democratic Party was supporting Joe Biden. I would say now probably 35-40% are supporting Kamala. So it's a little bit higher. But she still has people who despise her campaign. She still has people who discredit it, including me because of the stuff that she's done in the past. But of course, we don't know what she's going to do when she becomes president, because she hasn't become president yet. So we'll just have to see, man. But anyways, guys, that's currently the last story that we have on today's video. Thank you so much for watching episode number 9 of the Ryan Harper Show. I will see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you guys continue to support. It helps us grow into the algorithm. You can, of course, let me know what you think about any of the stories in today's video. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Have a great day, and peace out.